Good morning, everyone. So this is our first day, and of course, yesterday we had our orientation with the chief nurse, and of course, we also had our physical tour. And today, our focus is, of course, to orient you on what you're expected to deliver at the end of this rotation. So, meron tayong 6 days. 6 days na mag-duty dire. So, we have week 1 ta ngayon, then week 2 tayon, and of course, we have our week 3. So, since we are here in the medical ward, so I hope na you are going uh, to satisfy your being hungry of informations with the medical ward. But before that, of course, I'll be informing you on the requirements that you are going to submit daily, and at the same time weekly, or that's gonna be for the entire week. Okay, so when you are talking about your daily requirements, for day 1, since of course we have our day 0, so sa day 0, that's the time that your patient will be given to you. No, so ihatag sa inyo ang mga pasyente na you have to have your case already. Then of course you have to conduct your physical assessment or your history taking. And then of course sa day 1, what you're going to do is you have to submit to me your general objective. The second one is your specific objectives, and of course that will also be including your daily plan of activities. And then of course first day also included is you're going to submit to me your expectations for this rotation. So that includes expectations of self, expectation to the area, to the clinical instructor, to your peers, to the environment. So that's gonna be the 4th requirement. So again, you have to have your general objectives, specific objective, you have to have your daily plan of activities, you have to have your expectation. And then for day 1 also, since you've had your first assessment and first encounter with your patient, you have to submit to me your nursing health history, short introduction. The first one is short introduction, nursing health history, and at the same time your physical assessment. That will be very important, okay? And then for day 2, you have to submit to me your general objectives, objective, and then of course specific objective. Kaisa na din general objective diri kaisa na di ay sa isa ka week. Okay, I'm not actually oriented with it. So okay, so you have to have your specific objectives, daily plan of activities, and at the same time you will have your learning feedback diary for day 1. So okay, you have to have your learning feedback diary for day 1, and at the same time, since it will be day 2, you have to include there your anatomy and physiology, at the same time your pathophysiology, and then NCP. Okay, so that will be for day 2 again. Day 1, you have to submit to me your general objective, specific objectives, you have to have your daily plan of activities, and at the same time, you have to submit with me your expectations for self, for others, for peers, for the area, at the same time the environment, and of course your clinical instructor. At the same time, you have to prepare your physical assessment and nursing health history. Then day 2 is you have to submit with me your specific objectives, and at the same time your daily plan of activities, learning feedback diary for day 1. At the same time, you have to submit with me you have to submit to me your anatomy and physiology, and at the same time your pathophysiology, and also with your NCP. But patanasaman ana, because we have to have your weekly requirements. So weekly requirements will be the things that you are going to submit to me weekly. The first one is you have to submit to me your case study. So in your case study, what is included is it includes your nursing health short introduction of the case. Of course, in the introduction, that will include every details of the introduction, and that will only be limited to 2 pages only. After that is you are going to submit to me your nursing health history, and at the same time after your nursing health history, you have to submit also to me the physical assessment, the complete physical assessment, and of course you have to submit also your anatomy and physiology. The easiest part of your case study is your anatomy and physiology, and of course next is your pathophysiology. Next to that is your diagnostic tests, and at the same time next is your drug study. Next to that is your pathophysiology. Next to that is your problem lists. Next to that is your nursing care plan. After nursing care plan, that will be followed by your discharge plan. And not only discharge plan, but you're going to include with your discharge plan your learning outcome. So what is expected of you at the end of that specific week. Not wapatan after your learning outcome, of course, you are going to include there your references. And it must be very important that your references will have to follow the APA style of reference taking. Not only that, but you're going to include to me your appendices or your appendix, because of course in your appendices you are going to include all the relevant information gathered in the patient's chart.